Hey everyone, just a quick note. This episode of the podcast was recorded before the events of this week, and we just wanted to say that you can find links in our description to find more information about the Black Lives Matter movement, links to donate to the Minnesota Freedom Fund, and some other places such as the Columbus Freedom Fund, where your money will go towards bailing out protesters who have been arrested, and also links to signed petitions if you're interested in that. So please donate if you can, please share, and please stay safe out there.
Let's just go ahead and clap. Woo! Yay! Good job. Nice. Oh! Woo! Beautiful. Look at that. Here we are. Wonderful.
This is going to be a good one.
This is. I can feel it already.
The energy is very positive.
It is. It is.
It's palpable.
As opposed to the other ones.
Those other ones were just terrible.
Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
Welcome to anyone who is here listening or watching or whatever you ingest your media through. Welcome to Hear It From the Bear with Spirit of the Bear. We are Spirit of the Bear, and today with us is Adam and Stephanie of Honey and Blue. Welcome, guys. How are you doing?
Hey,
Real good. Yeah, how are you?
Doing good.
So
Doing
excited.
Yeah, we're pumped to be here. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've got so many questions lined up on the question sheet.
Ooh.
Okay, I just wanted to say for those watching, I'm wearing the spirit of my bear.
Oh.
Hey.
Wow.
Look at
I
that.
thought I felt a presence.
That's cool. or the spirit of your bear. I don't know. It's a bear.
There's some spiritual bear, and it's
It's our bear.
That reverb is beautiful. Whenever you guys talk, it's like a cave.
I thought.
Wait, should we turn it off?
No,
That's
it's
awesome.
lush.
No, it's good.
Okay. Yeah.
These are weird times, so let's just keep it weird.
All right, let's start with that, I guess. Just dive right in. How's it been going last few weeks? Everything's
I don't know
crazy.
what you mean. I feel like everything's normal.
It's totally fine. No, it's good. It's good. It's weird, but it's like I don't know. I think it's becoming more normal, which in itself is more weird.
Yeah, very true. Very true. One of the things on the almighty question sheet is to ask about. I know that you guys have been doing a bakery business during the quarantine, where you've been selling stuff you bake in your home and also delivering stuff out to local hospitals,
Yeah.
etc. So, do you want to talk about that a bit?
Sure. I guess, well, it started because I got really bored immediately because I can't sit still for more than like 5 minutes. So I started baking, and then friends were like, hey, can you sell those? I want to buy some. So I started doing it just kind of like a side thing, and then it just kind of kept growing. And one of my friends is out in New York, and she wanted us to ship stuff to her, and I was like, I honestly have no idea how to do that. So she's like, that's fine, I'm just gonna send you money, can you just like gift a baked good to someone, or like to a nurse that's working hard? And it kind of sparked this like project. So now every weekend we send baked goods and we drop them off and deliver them to hospitals, to nurses and first responders, and fire stations, fire departments.
And do you guys have like any? Is it like? Do you guys have social media for it? Do you have a way for people to get in contact with you?
Yeah, it's called Shut-In Sweets.
Awesome. And then can people donate?
Yeah.
Like the lady in New York still, and then
Yeah, we
Awesome.
still have an open, like, it's like a PayPal pool, so anybody who like necessarily doesn't or like want to get sweet treats, they can just donate and keep it going, and helps us keep doing some good things for the community.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Amazing, yeah.
So cool.
Well,
Did you have? Oh, go
You
ahead,
go.
James.
You go.
Oh, all right, I'm taking it. I was gonna ask, like, prior to the quarantine, did you enjoy, like, did you do baking a lot, or was it something that like almost completely stemmed out of the times that we're in?
No, well, weirdly enough, when we first moved here, I had like kind of a small from home bakery that I sold out of Wylands, and it was just like a gluten-free bakery called Honey Cakes. And I shut it down because, Honey and Blue got so busy, and I was like, I'm gonna have one baby, one thing, and then
It's a lot of work. Like, and just from me watching her initially, and like trying to help out here and there, like it's a pain in the ass.
Because I assume you have to package it all yourself and
Yeah.
stuff too. Okay.
I thought
Yeah.
being a musician was hard until until it's like, oh, we got a bakery now. Oh man, that's
Well,
Yeah.
like one thing that we've been talking about with every guest that's been on the show so far has been like their day job and like how that's because we've been just interviewing musician friends of ours, and most of them have been talking about how their day job had kind of fed into the quarantine and how that was all working out. But I know correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you guys, that is your day job is music. So it's kind of like, this is kind of like a flipped scenario for you guys, honestly.
for sure.
yeah. It's been a real adjustment, but like Steph said, she jumped right in, which has been really cool to see. And I sort of took a couple weeks just to kind of figure out what was happening and play a little more guitar and like try and refocus, and then jumped back in. But yeah, it's been really good, and the response has been really nice. So that's always encouraging. But
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it's so interesting to see how like everybody's been dealing with what's been going on. Like either people are looking at this as like this beautiful chance to be creative and to have like really interesting things stem out of like music or their art or whatever, and other people have just been like, this is a really nice chance to hit the pause and just like be still and breathe and go for walks and make pasta or whatever. Like
those are the positive aspects, but there are a lot of really tough things, and we feel really lucky. That we live together, we can sort of share expenses and things like that. But we know a lot of people are struggling, living on their own, or they're not having the opportunity to have another form of income in a way. Even if it's not a lot. So we do feel for a lot of people, and then everybody. Yeah, it's tough, but we try to be positive with what we can.
That's what you got to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Who's
even on the
next?
more positive
Oh.
side, like it's pretty bitchin' that. Oh, sorry, we're allowed to curse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Hell
yeah.
Say
yeah!
whatever the hell you want.
Shit, yeah.
I think it's really bitchin'
We've
that
been asked.
GC. Well,
I was just gonna say we've been asked this every episode so far. Decided that it's a program for adults.
right? Like you don't know. I even like normally when we do shows, like I scan because I like bitch is my favorite word. I have to like scan and be like, are there children? Should I be saying bitch right now? But I think it's really bitchin' that GCAC is like, do it. I know that like they have like the artist relief fund that they've done, and like Lisa Cave has an artist relief fund that she's been passing around, and it's awesome to see all of the good that's coming from it too.
Yeah, Columbus has really risen to the occasion as far as that goes, I think. Because those, like you said, the Columbus Arts Council grants have been like a huge thing for a lot of people that I know.
Yeah.
And, some people are lucky enough to still have income, but like I know so many people that like in Columbus are musicians and that's what they do. So especially like going through school, I know a lot of people who were in that tough spot that have been helped out a lot by that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very nice.
it's a wild time.
Yeah. GCAC, you bitchin'.
Yeah.
Are we sponsored?
What's next on the question list?
Bring it.
The album. Let's talk about your album that was supposed to be out in March.
Yeah. Well, we did feel like it was the right thing to not release it in March. The release shows were canceled, but I don't know. We kind of had to take account of what was happening and sort of figure out the best way to release it so people could hear it. If everyone's freaking out about losing their job and getting sick and taking care of their family members and things. That's not exactly the right time to be.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm just released an album.
Get hyped for our music.
At least that's what we're thinking. But we're thinking of releasing it in June. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So she'll be here soon.
we're not sure how exactly yet. We'll do a digital party.
Yeah.
Nice.
For sure.
Yeah, I
We
know
got
that.
some, we got some things to figure out.
I was supposed to guest at the release show, which is something we never talked about outside of the three of us, but it was going to be great.
right.
It was on my
That's
birthday.
right.
You were going to
That's
release
right,
it on
yeah.
my birthday.
Yeah.
It was your birthday.
It was March 27th. It was going to be the release show. I was very excited for it. And then it was literally like a week before that they shut everything down. So
I know. We literally had like this whole like, we're not going to tell anyone who the special guests are, and we had like these like fun posts, and we're gonna like kind of spotlight each artist, because like every artist that we had that was going to join us, they're like just in their own right so badass. So I was really bummed that didn't happen.
Including you, James.
thank you. I appreciate you.
The bad.
I don't think this is on the thing, but I wanted to ask, where did you guys first start picking up your instruments, and how'd you start getting into music and performing?
After you.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
I feel like I talk so much.
Get it.
That's just me. I started singing when I was a kid. My mom, we didn't have a lot of money for like music lessons or anything like that. So my mom started taking us to community theater because it was free and you could just learn how to perform and to get comfortable on stage there. So I started doing musical theater when I was like 8 years old, 8 or 9. And I just kept going with that and did choir throughout school and things like that, and went to college very briefly for musical theater and realized that like I just really loved writing music.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do my own thing. So I moved out to Los Angeles and met this handsome devil pretty quickly afterwards.
I think she came out of the womb dancing and singing, but that's
Well, I think that comes
That'd be
through
terrifying.
in your shows too. I mean, that's like the dynamic is perfect. I know we all saw you guys at Bright Winter back in February. That was the last show that we played, at least, and same for a lot of people, I think. But yeah, that dynamic is like perfect. It's like, Adam, you're just there, like in the pocket on the guitar, just like feeling it, and Stephanie's definitely the person that puts herself out there and is trying to get everyone into it.
yeah.
It's like it's a good dynamic, and I think that it definitely works for the kind of music you guys play too.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Which, also I wanted to talk about the new singles. So you've got Makeup, which came out, I believe, at the beginning of March.
Mm-hmm.
Picture
Yeah.
Perfect, which you just put out.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I guess, what made you guys decide that those were the singles? And can you talk about the process on those? Because I have heard, at least I've heard a couple versions of each of those, having just known you guys and worked with you guys in the past. So how did you kind of land on the versions that exist now?
Well, it was super cool. I love that you brought up, like, you've literally seen, like, every variation of Picture Perfect when we were trying to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
And a couple of other tunes that we have on the album that you've, like, literally seen, like, the progress of them.
Well, James, you joined us in the studio, man.
I did a couple times.
Yeah, and so we were working on Makeup, and you said, "Man, I'm hearing some strings," and so we ended up putting strings on it. And honestly, with your help, that was the first song that was done, and so we just decided to release that as the first single. That's kind of, it was the most fleshed out. So thank you for that.
It was the first one that got to the finish line, and we weren't, like, thinking we needed to go back and revisit it and keep tweaking it. Like, as soon as it arrived, we were like, oh, shit, man, this is the one. Like, let's get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
then-
one, I was going to say,
ahead,
that one to me was interesting just because with all the other stuff I heard from the album, it seemed like you guys were going in more of like a pop R&B direction. And that one is still very much that. It's still very hooky, and it's got great melodies, and it sticks in your head. But the production is like the flip side of that, which is, it's kind of, I don't want to say lo-fi, but
Yeah,
you guys track the drums with like 3 microphones. Like it was you were going for like a throwback soul inspired
for sure.
production.
Yeah, and in the mixing, we did make the conscientious decision to have it be sort of like a, drums to the left, old school, like, you listen to Beatles records or whatever, and then it's, or a lot of different records, but
we wanted it to feel like
the Gladys Knight.
I was going to say the Gladys Knight song. I think it's if I Were Your Woman. It's so
jam.
good. It's a jam. And you like every lyric she's singing, you're like, oh, just like clutching your heart because it's so good. And that was like our North Star. We're like, we want it to be like one of those Aretha Franklin tunes or Gladys. Not that I would say that like my job was sounding remotely like them, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too, 'cause especially like even the vocals, the way the vocals are mixed in that song are still very like forward and poppy, but just the instrumental sits really nice as like a soul throwback. And I feel like that. Well, I know you working with Mark Abrams, who's personally, I know him, and he's, in my opinion, the best engineer in Columbus. But
absolutely,
I feel like that came together really nicely. And then with the second single, it did turn out sounding a lot more poppy. I mean, you guys can clearly do both really well, which is really cool.
The album itself has a lot of different sides of sort of the pop and soul and R&B, hopefully. So we definitely wanted to, with Picture Perfect, bring out a little bit more high energy. And I guess we did release that during the start of the pandemic. So I think we just sort of wanted to bring a little bit of joy and a little bit of rhythm to what was happening, and kind of see how the response would be, but also just get something a little different than makeup, so people can kind of understand that the album will be kind of different directions.
Let's be real, like at that time, life is hard enough and everybody's like freaked out and terrified, so why not put out something fun that you can kind of like, it's a bop, you can kind of get down to. And especially because the message is like, it starts out a little like sad. You think it's like just another breakup song, and you're like, nah, bitch, like I'm falling in love with myself. Like I'm amazing. And like that's like hoping to make people feel like, yeah, I'm amazing. That's the goal.
Much needed.
That's the goal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to ask. Oh, good. You had something, James?
No, I just said it's beautiful.
So I wanted to ask about your backing band. I guess in particular, your bass player, who I saw at Bright Winter, is amazing. What's his name?
Dwight Bailey.
Okay, he's amazing, and so is everybody else that's playing. Do you guys have normally a rotating cast of characters behind you, or is it like, has it always been locked in to certain people?
It's been fairly locked in. Dwight's been a staple for a long time.
Since day one. He's the and.
Okay.
He's pretty much the and Honey and Blue. Like he's just like first of all, Dwight is the most amazing human ever. Like if you get the chance to talk to him, you just can't help but like feel smile in your heart and like positive light. He's just one of those people. And then pretty much like D Swank's been with us. David has been with us.
David's on keys. David Swank.
Yeah.
Incredible also, yeah.
He's amazing, and he's a sweetheart too. And then Willie B's been with us for the last year or two now.
Willie was not with us at Bright Winter, but
he was not. He wasn't.
But Willie Barthel III, also known as Willie B, is he's on the album and he plays with us fairly regularly. So we're grateful for those guys.
And they're all just stupid talented.
They're unreal.
Like it's stupid.
They're all incredible.
It's a good group.
You guys have the best backing band around, really.
I never take it for granted. I'm telling you, like it's always I know how great they are.
I feel like I
people
lucked
and
out,
players.
man.
Yeah.
You said they all played on the record as well.
Yes. Yeah, they're all over it, which is I just love hearing their parts and what they contributed and helped shape the song. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome because you'll see a lot of highly talented people getting together for whatever paid gigs and stuff, but to have an original artist be able to lock down that caliber of talent is, I think, kind of rare, especially in like a local music scene. I think that's really awesome to see that.
Yeah.
We're grateful for that for sure. Yeah.
I literally, every time we're on stage and then there's like just like a crazy explosion or like a breakdown of some kind, I even forget that I'm supposed to be like performing because I'm like, oh, they're so good, and I just like nerd out, and then I'm like, oh yeah, let's get back into it, girl. I'm really professional.
The chorus is coming back.
Yeah. There's like so many videos where I've seen myself like, oh shit, like running back towards the mic because they're just so good. They're so talented.
We have a song that we play live called "I Can't Breathe," and there's like the last chorus. There's like a synth breakdown where Danny solos, and I would say at least like half the time I miss the first line of the chorus going back into it.
You're just vibing out, man.
Vibing out.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's good.
Speaking of, to transition into our next question, speaking of personnel on the record, I know that you guys had, I don't know if you want to talk about this so we can edit it out if you don't, but I know you guys had Charlie Hunter on one song, at least one song on the record, who is, for those who don't know, is like a pretty prolific and well-known jazz guitarist. I know he's played with like Snarky Puppy and some other folks.
Yeah, John Mayer and D'Angelo, and he's played with incredible artists.
Yeah.
And in his own right,
He is an incredible artist.
But if you actually, I think Ethan and we went to see Snarky Puppy like maybe when we were like 16. Do you remember?
Yeah, it was in high school.
He was the opening.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that.
So I just wanted to bring that up and ask you guys kind of how that came about.
Yeah, we're totally cool talking about it. Charlie has been a huge influence on me for a really long time. I remember walking around in college. I sort of stumbled upon his. It's called. It was a duo album with him and Leon Parker called Duo, and I found that back in the day I used to just go to the library and get CDs and just randomly, and I found that one and just fell in love with it, and I'd walk around school with my headphones on and just like that album was huge. And then later come to find out that he played on Voodoo by D'Angelo. He played a song with John Mayer on Continuum. He's played with really everybody, and he's like a superhero to me. So the fact that he would come into town and play Natalie's every year maybe.
Yeah.
And
well, it was crazy because we were driving one day and we happened to pass by Natalie's and we saw Charlie Hunter, and Adam was like, there's no way. There's no way that Charlie's like in town right here next to us. And it happened to be that there were still a couple tickets left, so we went in, and I honestly, at that point, I had only heard a few of his songs because of Adam, and I was just blown away. It was a trio. Oh, I forget what the first, because every time he tours, that's the really cool thing, is that it's always a different lineup, it's a different crew, different show every time. Like, you have no idea what he's gonna pull out. And over the years, we just walked up to him after a few shows and we were like, dude, we're so impressed by you. And we would, it just like nerding out about music, and had just like mentioned that we were musicians, and he like immediately was so sweet and started kind of doing this mentorship every time he came into town, and he would just talk with us and kind of cheer us on and ask what we're doing and how we're moving forward. And then when it came time to come and record the album, we had this one song that was just, it's different than any song on the album, and pretty much different than any song we've ever done. And immediately we were like, dude, it would be so awesome. And like, I just threw it out there. I had messaged him, I had text messaged him, and I was like, hey dude, no idea if you'd be interested. You're so busy, but this is the song. I sent it to him, and like without hesitation, he was like, yeah, let's do it. when can you come to North Carolina? Like, and he was so sweet about all of it.
Yes, and speaking with him on the phone about that was just like so surreal. And then we took Willie with us to North Carolina, to a studio, Earth Tones recording, and we worked with Benji, who was the engineer. But Charlie produced the album or the song, and really switched it up so much from the demo that we had originally sent, and it just turned out to be something really, really cool that has his sensibilities on it as well. So it was a dream, man. It's a dream. It's still weird to talk about.
My favorite part was I was like already really like sweating bullets to have to sing in front of him because he's heard like everybody. I mean, he's heard everyone. So he and I were like just sitting in the vocal booth, talking about just different variations and how we're going to go about it. And right when he's about to leave the vocal booth, he's like, "Hey, Steph, don't fuck this up." He closes the door. And like, he's so funny and he's so nice. Like, it was just the funniest thing that it like made me feel so calm, and I couldn't help but like laugh and be like, okay, it's going to be good.
He's like, yeah, I recorded with John Mayer, so don't fuck this up.
He's got no ego though.
Yeah,
like that's the craziest thing. You think he'd be like, "I'm amazing." He's just like so cool.
He's the coolest and just like crazy intelligent. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
So cool.
That's really cool.
Because you hear so many times like someone's like meets one of their idols and they're just the worst, and you guys like met your idol and then recorded with him. So
it's still surreal. Yeah.
I still keep waiting for him to be like, like, just kidding, go away, guys. But no, he's like every time we talk to him, he's so sweet.
You put the song out, he just drops a lawsuit on you. Bummer.
Johnny, no.
Come on, Charlie.
Johnny,
If
no.
you were to recommend an album of his in particular, which one would it be?
Ooh, there's two. Although the other one, I'm not sure how to find it.
Okay.
The Savannah one.
Oh yeah, that's not released, unfortunately.
Oh,
Not the one he was on. So I think
Spoilers.
obviously I'm biased, but the Charlie Hunter Leon Parker duo is, to me, like as raw as it gets. It's him and a drummer, and he's playing 7 or 8 string guitar at the time, but you've got three bass strings and 4 or 5 guitar strings, and he's playing both parts. And there's the drummers. So to me, that's insane.
I mess this title up every time. I'm so sorry. It's like, what is it? It's a punch.
Everyone has a plan till they get punched in the face.
That's it.
That's a new one that a fairly new one in the last couple years, I think.
Yeah, that one's super good.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on Spotify just because it sounds really awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, he's crazy, man, and the fact that he can do any style and knows how to sit in a song. I mean, he can play simple stuff, he can play crazy stuff, but his sensibility is out of this world, and that's what's allowed him to do so many different, crazy artists from different genres and just excel at those. So he's a wild man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to follow up. I know you guys almost probably have that album and ready to get out there to the world, but what was the creative process at the beginning of it? Like, how do you guys work together to make the songs? Yeah.
We fight a lot. No, just
Just ends with like sobbing,
angry
tears.
people. Yeah.
How
Put
did
on
it
some death metal.
How did it start? I mean, I think usually a song will start by either maybe like a guitar riff or something, and then Steph will hear it and have an idea for maybe a chorus or a vocal melody or something, or we'll go back and forth.
Yeah.
It just
Some of them I was noodling on the piano and kind of we came with, I don't know, this one was super weird because there was no distinct time when we were like, yes, we're going to make an album. We just had this handful of songs that we'd been playing out and just trying to really flesh out, and all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, we have 10 songs that we really, really feel good about. We should probably put these out into the world, you know. Otherwise, that stuff dies with you. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you guys take those ideas? Do you end up taking them to the rest of the band and working on them with them, or do you end up taking care of those parts as well?
Well, generally we'll do sort of a demo in our studio, you know, and I'll do the fake drums and throw a terrible bass line on and whatever, and then throw it to those guys, and they'll put their talents on it. And so then from there, you know, in rehearsal, it was really nice. This was kind of the first time being able to play things out live for really months, and then that helped sort of figure out the production for once we did get into the studio. So that was really helpful.
Cool.
And the one song in particular, the title track "Bloom," that was super cool because that was one of the last ones to end up on the album, and we had this like kind of loosely floaty neo soul vibe, and we started playing it out, and Willie and David and Dwight really just like sculpted it so much. So like that's one of my favorite songs because you can hear the identity of each one of us at some point in that song, which is really cool. But each one of them just have like such a distinct and awesome vibe that like we really kind of just give them free reign to do their thing, and we give them like a general like, oh, here's like guideline, and then they're like, I'm gonna take it and just make it so good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When they're so good, like you don't really have to be like,
Yeah.
you gotta play it exactly this way and this time, and like there's no point.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's a good point. I also wanted to bring up the time a couple years ago, actually also on my birthday. You guys always, we always are hanging out on my birthday for some reason. But we went to OU and we met the singer of Young the Giant.
Oh man.
Oh, that's right.
Which is a crazy thing that happened, and you guys did that for me, which was cool. So thanks.
You guys,
yeah.
you guys hit it off, man. You were like the best of buds there.
Yeah.
But also, that's one of our Spirit of the Bear's big influences for sure. Is Young the Giant. What's your guys' like familiarity with them? Also, talk about how that even came about. I guess that we ended up meeting and hanging out with their singer.
Young the Giant, oh my god.
Yeah, they're
so
incredible.
amazing. Like just incredible songwriters. Every single one of their albums is just like it makes you feel everything at some point in it. It's just fucking beautiful.
Yeah. I think you introduced me to them. I had heard a couple of the songs off the first album. I mean, just because they were hits at the time, but I didn't really dive into it, and then you came around and
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they're like,
just
I
so
mean,
good.
yeah.
when we were writing like our last two albums, we would just like play their stuff in the background while we were just like,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, their song Island. Oh, I play that whenever I'm like feeling stressed out. I'm like, I'm just gonna put this on and zone and like breathe. It's just so good. But it was what school was it again? I forget.
OU.
OU that we went to, yeah.
My friend April was a speaker at this event that they were doing, and I honestly had no idea. She had mentioned that she was going to be interviewing a special guest, and that she was like, everybody come out, and she had messaged me and was like, are you coming to this? So we got tickets for it, and then they released the lineup, and I realized it was Young the Giant. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing! And then we reached out to James. We were like, dude, you should come with us. We should drive down together. I was like, April and we were still super new friends at that point. So I was like, I'm not sure if we'll be able to see her afterwards, but, and then we ended up being able to like hang out and walk around and.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Well, April is their tour manager, I believe, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And the only reason that really even worked is because we went up afterwards and you were like, hey, and then I was like, hey, I'm in this band. And she had heard of Ghost Soul Trio. So she was like, oh, Samir, come over here. And I was like, nice. So
Nice.
we talked for like an hour. It was an amazing day.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And you were such a cool cucumber. Like.
I was very nervous, very sweaty.
But you seemed very like chill.
I have a picture of myself with him, and I like every time I come across it, I'm like, I looked so bad in that picture. I don't know why. I'm like, I looked so like nervous, or I don't know. I was wearing this sweater,
that I don't really like. I don't know why I wore the sweater. I don't think I've worn it since.
No, you did great, man.
You did good.
It was cool. It was cool. And he was a darn cool guy too, right? I mean, you were.
He was super cool.
Yeah.
He was amazing, yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Meeting your heroes, man.
I know. See, sometimes it works out. Sometimes they're super
Well,
cool.
Dan and I had a Meet Your Heroes experience a few years ago with Passion Pit. That was really positive.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So it can be good.
I remember that.
yeah.
You were?
Yeah. It was Fashion Meets Music
It
Fest.
was at Fashion Meets Music, which is no more, which is a bummer. Did you guys ever go, or was that even on your radar? It was like a Columbus.
Half fashion, half
I
music.
I think I remember one year Alan Stone was going to be there, and I was.
Sounds about right. It was very like indie. I think Young the Giant even played it one year, but the year we went, I played saxophone with this band who played at 2 in the afternoon or whatever, and then I snuck Dan and Ethan and a bunch of my other friends in. I got a bunch of backstage passes from the office, and we all snuck in, and then we just hung out backstage. Actually, I had a weird experience that involved that weekend the other day because, so Dan, the one night, do you remember when Borns played, and we went backstage after that, and we met the keyboard player? Her name was, what was her name?
Oh,
It was Misty or something.
Misty Boyce.
Yeah. Well, me and Savannah were watching. There's a new Bachelor series on right now. It's half The Bachelor, half singing competition. And that girl is in the house band for The Bachelor. She
What?
plays keyboards because they had the names come up, and I was like,
That's awesome.
wait, I remember meeting that girl at the music festival.
She helped us deflate that giant. I think it was a giant globe. It was one of those 8 feet inflatable globes. We were jumping on it.
Yeah, she's very cool.
Can you go back to that show? Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
It's The Bachelor.
Oh, okay. So, okay. It's called The Bachelor, Listen to Your Heart, okay?
Oh.
And we've been... She's over there. We're laughing. We've been watching it diligently. It's basically The Bachelor. So they throw a bunch of single people, but they're all singers, into the Bachelor mansion. They all couple up. And then at the end of each week, they have a singing contest with famous judges. So there's Jason Mraz was a judge. Kesha was a judge one week. It was really weird. Tony Braxton was a judge.
Tony!
It's a very weird show. And then they sing terrible covers of Ed Sheeran and whatever. And then they get judged. And then each week one couple gets kicked off. It's very fun.
What a weird concept.
I know, because it's not The Bachelor at all. Because The Bachelor is there's one single dude or one single girl, and they date 100 people at once. This is very different, and I don't even know how it qualifies as The Bachelor.
The end goal. Sorry, but it's weird. What's the end goal? Is the end goal to find a relationship, or is it to win the music competition?
They don't even tell you this until 4 episodes in. The end goal is the one couple. Next week's the finals, so you can get caught up on Hulu before then.
Oh, I was gonna ask where can I find this show?
It's on Hulu.
It's
They get judged on their singing, but also their onstage chemistry. So at the end, the winning couple gets a tour. I don't know. They pay for they go on a tour. I guess if people go to that, I don't know who
What
would
if-
go
yeah, what
to
if
the
nobody-
Bachelor tour.
What if no one goes to the shows?
I don't know, but some of them are pretty good. But
Are they
We're
couples
going.
beforehand?
no, they don't know each other.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
meant to couple up, and so the first 2 weeks or whatever, there's no performances. They just couple up, and then once they're coupled up, people who aren't coupled up have to go home. People who are coupled up have to sing for Jason Mraz and Kesha, and then yeah, they get kicked off based on really there's nothing to do with their musical talent. They get kicked off based on how much they touch each other on stage.
guys, I gotta be honest. I gotta go.
We got to do
It's been
this.
fun. I'm gonna go watch the show.
Oh, okay. I thought you said we were gonna join it. I was like,
You
let's do
can't. You guys
it.
already know each other.
We
You're
don't.
already
Well,
a couple.
can we like fake like we don't?
Savannah just said Stephanie and Adam would win. Listen to your heart if they went on. So next season, you guys should go on. Pretend that you don't know each other, and then make it work.
Done.
But then we'll like play it out like we fall in love on camera and everything. And
But you have to have some
Yeah.
drama, some kind of drama. This
Okay.
week's drama was that the one girl told her boyfriend that she loved him, and he didn't say it back.
Oh no. That's gonna
Ice
mess
cold,
up
man.
on stage in person.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't even get eliminated. I shouldn't be spoiling this. Sorry.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, come
Well, that's
on.
okay.
so okay. So bring the drama. Like, I'm just gonna like scream at him like, "You wear too much pink," and like,
Well, there's like no good sing. There's one couple that's good at singing, and that's who we're rooting for. And you guys are better than any of the people on the show. You get so many Instagram followers.
Hey,
True.
we'll
We
do
need-
it. We'll do
that's
it
a-
for the gram.
Yeah.
we'll do it for the gram.
Do
Yeah.
it for the
It's a
gram.
great way to get successful real quick.
It is.
It's a good scheme.
We should all go on.
Well, even if you don't have a career that technically works out after that, even if you don't have a career that works out, you could still make that cameo money. So at that point, you could just do a bunch of cameos.
True. I'm not even kidding about this though. I'm gonna try to get like the first eliminated person on the podcast.
That would be sick.
I'll find
Heard
out
it here first.
who
Heard
got
it here
picked first, so no one even knows that they were on the show, and I'll invite them on our podcast.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh my god.
I love it.
Let me know when that airs.
Man, I really got to check out that show now. Thank you. Thank you.
Follow-up question. You guys are a musical couple duet. Do you ever sing Shallow by Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga?
That's a hard one.
It's the
Oh,
only
like,
song
no
you can sing as a
joke?
couple.
No joke. Do you know how many times we've been at duo gigs and people are like,
Request it.
"Hey, do you know Shallow?" We're like, "Oh, I don't know if I've heard that."
It's my favorite song.
I don't know.
We haven't done it. No.
That's good. You guys shouldn't. You should stand your ground. Dan, where were you?
Oh, I dropped the keyboard. My bad.
Okay. Under the table for a second.
That movie rubbed me the wrong way. I'm gonna be honest. If
A Star is Born.
I agree.
yeah.
I
Same.
agree.
Yeah, never
You're
saw
not
it
missing
either.
much.
Didn't love it.
So that's part of
and Lady
why
Gaga's my
I'm
girl.
Yeah, she's good. She's great.
I know.
Yeah.
I like both of them.
I know.
Yeah.
But that just. And then, like, it further perpetuates the stereotype of, like, musicians being like, I'm just going to sit at a piano. Oh, my God, this entire song just wrote itself. What? Like, yes, that's exactly how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show me the deleted scenes where it's like 9 hours of sitting there slaving over
Existential
the
crisis.
worst time of your life.
I hate it. I love it. I hate it. I love it. I hate it.
The getting
Storming
stung by
out.
wasps part. That's the part I want to see.
Oh, my God.
That was a big proponent of our new album. Was the wasps.
For one song, but I mean, it really created one song. Like, who would think a wasp sting would create something so beautiful?
Who got stung?
I did.
You did.
We have, so this is, we're not putting it out until we put the album out, but we've made a documentary for this album.
Oh, we did not make a documentary.
Well, no, we had one made by people who are good at making movies. And there's a whole section about the wasp, so I won't talk too much about it.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Cool.
that
Spoiler.
when we put the album out, like 6 years from now, then you'll learn about it.
Oh, God, now I want to know.
We can cut it out. Let's tell them.
We don't have to cut it out. We went to like a cabin. We went to a cabin in Kentucky to make our last album. We just like holed up for a week in the woods, and there was a big wasp's nest outside of our front door, and I got stung the one day, so me and Ethan tried to go destroy the nest. Eventually, we're successful, and then we wrote a song about it because Jamie. Someone pick it up from here.
Jamie and his friend Admiral Nelson had a night together, and there was a microphone with a vocoder that was live. So Jamie would go up to it every now and then, start singing some real random stuff. But then he eventually sang the melody of the song, but was saying "wasps suck." So
Like really drawn out.
And then the next day, we just spent all day. I think we really did write the song in a day. That's a real,
Yeah.
actual thing that happened.
I mean, it is only
Yeah.
like 2 minutes 30 seconds.
Very cool.
But it came from a very real experience, so that's
Yes.
awesome.
You'll hear it.
Ethan was making smoothies, and he got,
Added alcohol.
yeah.
What kind of smoothies?
Rum.
Alcoholics.
Yeah. The first batch was bad, but then the second batch was pretty good.
We just we made terrible smoothies because we would go to the grocery store and get all the food we needed, and then we would like make smoothies with leftover stuff. So it wasn't that gross. It was like, but it would be like, oh, we have a bottle
have
of
like an orange.
a
we have.
watermelon, and an orange, and an apple. Let's just put all that stuff in there, and let's see how that is.
That was a rough night.
We have whiskey and we have chocolate ice cream, and that's what it was. Like whiskey and chocolate ice cream.
Kudos to your bravery on that
Oh
one.
my god, I'm coming to the next writing session. That sounds awesome.
It was really terrible.
Yeah, that was a rough night.
It was. I don't even know if we should go into that.
Yeah.
Put it this way: we thought Admiral Nelson was gone for the night, but he came back around.
I went to the bathroom, as people do, just to make sure I wasn't going to vomit, and I ended up staying on the bathroom floor from
the whole
The whole night.
pretty much the whole night.
You kept texting us.
I did not get sick though. I did not actually get sick. I fought it off, but I kept texting them like every hour. I was like, "It's not going well, guys." And then like an hour later, I'm like, "I'm gonna try to get up," and then I was like, "It didn't work."
We were all asleep by this point.
So
Yeah,
we didn't
no.
see it until I didn't see it until the morning at least.
Danny and I were the last to go to bed. I remember seeing a couple of those before. I was like, okay, I think he'll be fine.
I used like a towel as a pillow, and I just slept on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
I appreciate the updates.
Yeah, so that's how our writing process usually works.
I put a lot of work. Yeah, I put a lot of work into that.
Dude, we're fucking up.
You know it is.
That's rock and roll, man. That's rock.
I remember a few months ago, I believe, Stephanie, you had a Harry Potter themed birthday party.
Bad idea.
Whoa.
Can we talk about that?
Oh my god. It was like I have been waiting for that moment for 30 years. It was my 30th birthday. And I was like, Adam, we're doing it. We're having a party. He's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, no. It's the party. I literally like spent hours on Pinterest. I had like floating candles. I had like everything was in theme. Like pretty much anything you can think of from Harry Potter. We had
That's
floating keys, blood written on the mirror. We had like on the toilet it had "This way to the Ministry of Magic." I mean, like it was so nerdy and so much fun.
I
And
think
there's
that-
polyjuice potion and oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Well,
She
I
had
love
butterbeer?
Butterbeer.
Yeah.
There was not butterbeer because it felt a little basic, you know? I was like, everybody does butterbeer.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we went with polyjuice potion.
Me and Savannah recently had a Harry Potter marathon. It was like one movie per day. But the last night when we were watching the last one, we made butterbeer because we're basic.
Yeah.
It's delicious. It's fantastic.
So it was one of the most delicious drinks.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, I guess I have a follow-up question now. Which is your favorite book and movie?
Oh god. Movie, Order of the Phoenix.
I like
I'm gonna
Order of
do
the
it.
Phoenix.
Yeah, it's so good. And yeah. And we've got Gary Oldman. Like,
Yeah, Sirius Black.
Yeah.
You know. He's
favorite
the dude.
book. I don't know why. I've reread The Deathly Hallows a million times because it's just like it's so delicious and it's so good. So I don't know, but I don't know if that's my favorite, but that's the one that I reread the most. God, this is like the nerdiest turn.
Harry Potter.
This is great.
We should have prepared like a Harry Potter quiz.
Oh my God! No, because then everyone would no. It would be so nerdy, and then I'd be like, well, there's a. It would just no. It would get bad.
What house do you think you're gonna, or which house would you be in?
Here's the thing.
Oh, here we go.
No, okay. I've always been Gryffindor, but I took one of those Pottermore bullshit quizzes, and it said I was Ravenclaw.
That's not offensive, though. Isn't that where the smart people?
No, it's not offensive. I mean,
I
there's
thought
no wrong.
Hufflepuff was the bad one.
No, there's no
Hey,
wrong
you
answer.
Back off, son.
See?
Mike's a Hufflepuff.
No, there's no wrong
I'm pretty sure
answer.
95% of people are Hufflepuff.
I'm Hufflepuff all day.
I think I'm a
Hufflepuff
Slytherin,
all
to
day,
be
bro.
honest.
Slytherin?
Yeah.
I think I would be a Slytherin.
Yeah, you're a pretty
They've
bad
got
guy.
they've got some brilliant and good people from there too.
It's not necessarily bad people. It's just like people who like don't have any patience for anything. That's
Spoken like a true Malfoy right there.
it's like Slytherins, like the people who are just like, okay. I feel like I would be a Slytherin minus the like the Aryan race aspect of the Slytherins. I don't think that I can get behind that, but yeah, the whole I'm like a liberal Slytherin.
Yeah.
Good save.
See, okay, Snape was a Slytherin, and
He
he
was
was
a
a
good guy.
wonderful man.
Yeah, there you go.
So you was Snape.
Thank you.
There you go.
God, this is like my dream, talking
think-
about Harry Potter with a bunch of people on the internet. This is
I think I'd just be Dobby.
oh,
No house.
God.
Dobby.
Oh,
They never covered in the movies, but in the books they talk a lot about how the house elves kind of got put into the kitchen for like slave labor
yeah.
in the
Yes.
fourth book.
Isn't their magic more powerful too? Like I don't know if that's something from the book, but I think I recall the like house.
They don't
elves
need a
actually have-
wand. They don't need anything. They just like embody magic.
There's like a whole Hermione subplot where she starts a like a house of rights organization.
It's like Spute or something.
Spew.
Like that. Yes, that's what it is.
Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare.
Are you guys
We're
still gonna be
Yeah.
my friends still after this?
This is the best.
I've read these books many times.
Oh my gosh. I even had a little like box at the party that said to donate socks, and it had like a little picture and it said free Dobby. And then like you could put your spare socks in there, and then it was brought to you by that organization.
Oh, that's
And, like I'd like made
That's
a little sign for
amazing.
it.
Oh man. Let's see. We started about 7:45, so we have.
Yeah, we're at 50 minutes, I think.
All right, we're about running out of time. So, Jamie had an idea at the beginning of this. If you want to go into that.
yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know about it more than I do. I just thought it would be
Okay.
fun to be part of.
So at the end of the episodes, we'll play a song from whatever artist for the outro. But Jamie thought we could do the picture perfect dance challenge as our outro.
Oh my god. Yes.
We would be honored.
mean-
yeah.
we got to.
Oh my
The
god.
what? I was not here for this.
Yes, you were. Oh,
All right, they can
Oh my
explain it,
gosh.
and then we can do it.
Do it.
Yes. Okay. So it's called the Pep and the Step Dance Challenge, and we basically had the idea of like for the chorus it's so oh, like it's basically like getting rid of all that bad juju. So just like dance it out and show us getting rid of all that bad shit in your life.
Yes.
And
Hell
any
yeah.
excuse to dance, you know.
Do we all need to play it individually?
I'll play it. It'll sound like shit.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
I'm so happy right now.
It's gonna take me a minute.
Oh my
I
gosh.
have one more question before the song plays. What's your
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
pastry to bake?
Ooh.
Ooh, I know my answer is scones of any kind.
Are
Because
scones
there's
hard?
like this. No, well,
They're finicky.
to me they're a little finicky, but like I like the rustic nature of them. Like you've got to use your hands and I don't know. There's just something cool about scones. They only take about 15-20 minutes to get everything together, which is another good thing. And they only bake for about 12 minutes. I knew nothing about baking before this, like anything.
I forced it upon him.
It's always good to have new skills.
Yeah.
Much like Harry Potter.
Scones are my thing. But what about you, Steph?
I love making cinnamon rolls because I love like kneading dough. I love being able to do that and like you feel the dough change when it's ready. Like it literally is like chemistry. Like all of a sudden it's like, boop, I'm ready now. Or decorating cakes. I really love that, but I don't get to do that very often. So.
Did you, for your birthday, make a cake that says "Happy Birthday, Harry"? Like the one from the first movie?
I made a cake. I actually did it like that. Yeah.
He did. I have pictures. Yes, it looks exactly. Except it said Steffi instead.
I studied that for hours, man. Trying to get it.
All right, I got it.
So-
Picture perfect.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Pep in Your Step Dance Challenge featuring Picture Perfect by Honey and Blue.
This should be the time of my life. Instead, I'm broken hearted, wondering why you stepped out on me. Why you stepped out on me. We were the picture perfect couple. Tear down a photograph and crumble it up like you did with us. Like you did with us. Oh yeah. But it's alright, I'ma make it through this tonight. Don't know what you're losing this time, and you'll never find another like me. It's alright, I'ma make it through this tonight. Don't know what you're losing this time, and you'll never find another like me. It's so over now. Yeah, it's so over now. Yeah. This will be the time of my life. Don't need no picture perfect. I want someone who is worth it. I know I deserve it. For the first time in my life, you're just a chapter in a novel. Turning the page on all the drama that you filled with every line. Filled with every line. Oh yeah, yeah. It's so over now. Yeah, it's so over now. Yeah, it's alright. I'ma make it through this tonight. Don't know what you're losing this time, and you'll never find another like me. It's alright, I'ma make it through this tonight. Don't know what you're losing this time, and you'll never find another like me. I got a new pep in my step. Everything's feeling better since the day you left. See, I'm lighter now. I got a new love love, it's been said that you can't love another till you love yourself. See, I'm wiser now. Wiser now. Everything's feeling better since the day you left. See, I'm lighter now. I got to know love, it's been said that you can't love another till you love yourself. See, I'm wiser now. Wiser now.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of our new podcast, Hear It From the Bear. We'll be back next week, and in the meantime, you can find all of our music, videos, information, whatever you may need, on our website, spiritofthebearband.com.